What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are you doing out here today on this beautiful Wednesday evening? What is going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys for coming through. Thank you so very much. Big shout out to all the people here on YouTube, all the viewers. Big shout out to all the people that's on Twitter, Facebook. Everybody, appreciate you guys for coming through. Now, we will be opening up the phone lines because I want to hear your opinion on this whole situation. Now, as you can tell, the title of this video is going to be, is Kyler Murray going to get traded by the Arizona Cardinals? Now, me personally, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down real quick in terms of I'm going to give you my personal opinion. But this whole live stream is going to be based off of, I want to hear your guys' opinion on this whole situation. Should Kyler Murray stay? Should Kyler Murray go? Now, do I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to get rid of him? I don't know. Like, my mind has changed so many times coming into these last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, if you asked me, I would say, no, heck no. Kyler Murray is here to stay. The Arizona Cardinals are going to sign him. Everything's looking good and gravy. But now my opinion might have changed just a little bit. Do I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to trade Kyler Murray? I don't. I still do not think that Kyler Murray is going to be with another team. Now, I know with all this big drama that's been happening with Eric Burkhart, with Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals organization being in the media for the wrong reasons, it all kind of stemmed from Kyler Murray wanting to get a contract extension, right? That's the main reason why everything is currently going on. Now, if Kyler Murray came out, he was doing some sort of, thing for the Boys and Girls Club, donating $10,000. Definitely shout out to him for doing that. Definitely awesome thing to do. But he came out and straight out said that he's an Arizona Cardinal. He's not worried about, not being a Cardinal. Now, for that, me specifically, like if you're going to ask me like, hey, he said that, do you feel better? Not really. Not really, to be 100% honest with you, for a couple different reasons. We heard Steve Keim say that Josh Rosen was our quarterback for now. And what ended up happening, he didn't become our quarterback the next season. And it's just, technically, Kyler Murray is an Arizona Cardinal. He's under contract. So for him to not say that would be very foolish. I mean, obviously they are still paying him. He's under contract. Now, do I think he's going anywhere? I personally don't, but I do remember that there was a deadline being put out by Eric Burkhart saying that we have until the draft to possibly draft, or extend Kyler Murray into a contract extension. And the Arizona Cardinals have yet to do that. Now, there was also reports coming out there saying that Eric Burkhart, the sports agent of Kyler Murray, actually withdrew his original proposal he ended up putting on the table for the Arizona Cardinals because there was no communication back and forth. And now that has been withdrawn. And now Kyler Murray is worth more money than he would have been worth in February, in March. And just like that, the market for a quarterback has now skyrocketed because of Aaron Rodgers, because of Derek Carr, that type of situation, which I was trying to avoid. And now we're kind of in the situation right now where, is Kyler Murray going to sit out? We don't 100% know. Now, there was voluntary, training camp happening today, OTAs, whatever you want to call it. Kyler Murray didn't show up. And I apologize, not today. It ended up actually happening earlier this week. He didn't show up for it. Now, there was some veterans came in there to work out voluntarily. He didn't show up, but the reports out there from Ian Rappaport saying it's no big deal. This was already pre-planned, and the Arizona Cardinals are fully aware that he was not going to be showing up for voluntary workouts. So nothing too crazy there, nothing too sneaky to kind of report on all this situation. But I still do think that this is a topic to be had in terms of Kyler Murray, because there's so many people split down the middle in this fan base. I have never seen this fan base the way that it is this coming year. And I said this a couple years back, or maybe last year, saying that if Kyler Murray doesn't perform, there will be blood in the water. And here we are right now. Kyler Murray is trying to go into his fourth year. He wants to get extended, although yes, he does have 2 years left in his rookie year, but he still wants to get extended. Now, let me go ahead and just kind of talk off of topic here. I do have a Twitter. I ended up posting something on 4/15/2022 saying Cardinals organization gives an extension to Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury. Kyler Murray with extreme potential and talent to become the franchise quarterback, dot, 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 no contract extension. I don't get this fan base, or I don't get this franchise. I apologize. And that tweet blew up, ladies and gentlemen. It got so many likes. It got so many people commenting, people saying that I'm crazy, people saying that they're split down the middle. We had some people saying that Kyler Murray is not a franchise quarterback. We had people saying that they're crazy. He is a franchise quarterback. We are better with Kyler Murray than we are without him. And people saying that we should get rid of him. This is his highest value at this very moment. So many different things to be said about Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals in just a week to 2 week span. I thought our free agency was going to be different. I really did. That's just not the case here. That's not the case in what's going on here with the Arizona Cardinals. But I still do think it's a talking point to be talked about. Kyler Murray, is he going to be traded? Now, like I said earlier in the stream, I don't think he's going to be. I don't have any inside sources. I don't 100% know. Is he going to hold out? I don't 100% know. But I do think that we need to go ahead and open up the phone lines. I want to see and hear from what you guys have to say. So give me about another 10 minutes. We will be opening up the phone lines, and I will be inviting some people in here, whether your opinion is good for Kyler Murray or your opinion is bad for Kyler Murray. I just want to hear everybody. I want to hear everybody's personal opinion on this whole topic, because there's a lot of meat still left on the bone for Cardinal fans that are just kind of sitting and waiting. Right now, we have the draft a little over a week away, and we still do not know what is going to happen with our franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray. So let me give a big shout out here to my first super chat of the night. We got my guy BBHALV coming up clutch with a super chat. He says, the way this offseason has been, I wouldn't be surprised for Kyler Murray for draft. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised for Kyler's trade for draft picks and we go get Baker. Wouldn't be surprised, ... Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. And I kept talking about this over and over and over again. This is the offseason that I did not expect the Arizona Cardinals to do. I did not expect the Arizona Cardinals to treat this offseason the way that we did. We had so much potential. We had so much expectations towards the end of the season, and it came crashing down. I would hope and thought that the Arizona Cardinals would treat this offseason a little better. I thought that they would be a little bit more aggressive. Now, I don't think if you ask a casual Cardinal fan, I don't think if you ask a Cardinal fan if the Arizona Cardinals were going to be big spenders in this free agency market, I think for the most part you would hear a lot of no. I mean, we can't afford it, right? The cap is a situation. I don't think Michael Bidwill is in a position to spend that big type of money, but I didn't expect this in what we saw this year in terms of just crickets, bringing back a lot of good talent that was fringe free agency, fringe Arizona Cardinal players. We got to give them kudos to that. We brought some good players back. Zach Ertz, James Conner, AJ Green. Some people can say yes, some people can say no. It's really up to them. But I didn't expect it. I honestly did not expect this. I thought we were at least going to make one big move and address a lot of holes for the Arizona Cardinals, because I still do think we have a lot of holes for this Cardinals team going into the 2022 season. Now, we did sign, right, Will Hernandez. Whether you think that's a good acquisition, whether you don't, I don't know. We lost Chandler Jones. We lost CK. We lost some pieces. We definitely lost some pieces. And I don't think that we did enough to compete against the LA Rams this next year. Just being full frontal about it, I don't think the Arizona Cardinals did enough. Now, talking a little about this whole topic situation, I promise you we're going to get back to the Kyler situation once we open up the phone lines, because I want to hear from your guys' opinion. Now, if you guys are watching on Facebook, if you guys are watching on Twitter, I highly encourage you jumping onto YouTube, searching up the AZ Sports Fans, subscribe, and jump on the stream that way if you want to jump on and give your opinion about Kyler Murray, because there's not a way for you guys to really access the link if you are another platform. So highly encourage you to jump onto YouTube if you do want to jump on and talk about Kyler Murray a little later on. But I ended up getting a tweet from my guy, Alex. One of my subscribers, Alex, ended up pointing this out to me. He ended up sending a tweet over to me and say, hey, you got to check this out. And this is the tweet. This is the tweet. My guy, big shout out to my guy, Alex Herrera. He says, did you read the newsletter NFL posted on the Cardinals? Peterson and Edmonds gave their thoughts on the matter. This is what stood out. And this is quote, no, I've been around K1. He's a competitor, Peterson said via USA Today. And I feel like, no disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals, I feel like they don't put the team in a position to be successful year after year after year. They want to sit and wait on draft picks instead of being aggressive in free agency and going and getting guys that can help you get better right now versus waiting on the future. And Kyler Murray is not going to sit around and wait for that. Now, whether you deep dive in what that whole topic said about what Chase Edmonds or what Peterson said, it's not very specific in terms of who's actually talking when the air quotes were put on there. No, actually, I apologize. It's actually what Peterson said. Now, I know there's a lot of people saying, well, Patrick Peterson is very disgruntled, this, and that. But I do think that there is something to be said about people that are leaving this organization and still having a thing to say about the way things are being ran. Whether it's Tyrann Mathieu, whether it's Patrick Peterson, whether it's Chase Edmonds. I think we all know as a fan base that for the most part, most people do not want Steve Keim to be in the front office any longer. Now, we didn't get that wish, right? We didn't get that wish. Michael Bidwell loved Steve Keim. He loved his direction. He loved everything about him, and he thought that the best thought or the best direction for this Arizona Cardinal organization was to sign him to a 5-year deal, as well as Cliff Kingsbury. Do we agree? For the most part, I doubt people I doubt people like it, but being Cardinal fans, I don't think there's really much you can do about it in that situation. I think we all knew this, right? I think we all knew that there was something to be said when disgruntled players leave our organization, because it happened to also David Johnson. If you don't remember the tweet that he put out there saying that there's snakes in the grass, there's only so many players out there that can say the same things over and over again without us as fans saying, well, he's just disgruntled. The Arizona Cardinals didn't want to pay him and this and that. I do think that there is some leverage to be said that front office really doesn't know what the heck they're doing. And they're just kind of winging it. They're winging it. They're coming out with different plans, different directions. Steve Keim's job is being saved year in and year out, on one huge trade, and the biggest trade that just happened probably 3 years ago, DeAndre Hopkins. That's what saved Steve Keim's job. It's not because he drafted people. It's not because his free agency is stellar. It's because he does one thing very well, and one thing very well at that. And that is that he is very good when it comes down to trading. And he almost makes the other GM look like foolish for doing that. But when it comes down to drafting and then when it comes down to free agency, that's where he lacks the most. And I think most fans that follow the Arizona Cardinals know this about Steve Keim. Now, can we do anything about it? For the most casual fan out there, what we do is just kind of give a grunt. I hate that. But then it goes away. Then it goes away. Something can be done, but it would have to take a lot of work. It would have to take a unity of people to come together and enforce that change in order for something to change. But for now, because the Arizona Cardinal fan base, because the Arizona sports fan base just in general is used to mediocrity, is used to the idea of, hey, we were a 5, 8, and 11 win team at one point, and now look at us, we're 11. It's only up from here. That's what we're used to. That's what we're used to. And blame it on the transplants that come into Arizona or Phoenix. Blame it on all the people that try to enjoy our weather and marking up our house values. But blame it on them, probably. They're bringing in a lot of the people or a lot of the culture that comes in from wherever they're coming from, Midwest, the East Coast, the West Coast, wherever you want to say. I do think here in Arizona, I don't think the majority of people here are Cardinal fans. I really don't. I think it's probably split down the half. If not, maybe 55% Cardinal fans, and the other people are transplants. And I think we're just used to it, honestly. Legit. We're used to it. But going back to Kyler Murray, and I think that's exactly why everybody's here. Everybody wants to talk about Kyler Murray. Is he a franchise quarterback? A. B. Will the Cardinals move on from Kyler Murray? And C. How do you feel about Kyler Murray in this whole situation that has occurred? A lot of people are blaming that sports agent. A lot of people are saying Kyler Murray should get rid of Eric Burkhart. Why is he allowing him to do all these things? I'm pretty sure Kyler Murray has something also to kind of do with it. Maybe this wasn't his original plan. I doubt he went to Eric Burkhart and said, "This is what we should do." No. I think it's the opposite. But I do think that Kyler Murray actually knows what is going on. Like, I mean, he could have put a stop to it. Let's just put it that way. And it hasn't been done. Kyler Murray hasn't shown up to voluntary camp. Kyler Murray is still kind of, saying the right things in the media, but we've heard the right things being said before. And right now, as Cardinal fans, we're kind of just sitting. We're waiting for the draft. We're hoping Steve Keim doesn't F this one up. And we're just kind of in the waiting mode at this very moment. So this is the moment here, ladies and gentlemen, where the phone lines will be opened up. I am excited to hear what you guys have to say. I want to hear from the good people. Not the good people. I want to hear from the people that like Kyler Murray and want him to stay as an Arizona Cardinal. I want to hear from the people that don't like Kyler Murray and would like him to be moved on from, traded on. Whatever the situation is, the link has been pinned on the chat below in YouTube. So I highly recommend, if you want to jump on and give us your thoughts on Kyler Murray, how this whole situation has transpired, this is the opportunity to do so. The link has been posted on the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, highly recommend you coming onto YouTube, searching up the AZ Sports Fan, and coming on this way, because it's really the only way you can access that link. Let's get this going here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear from you guys in terms of what you're feeling about Kyler Murray, and let's just take it from there. Let me change my background, and then let me get my guy BBH ALV coming up here right now. First guest on the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. BBH, man, what's up, man? Talk to me. How you feeling?
Man, I'm really upset it's gone this far with the Cardinals, but I feel like the Cardinals are doing. I love Kyler. I'm a big Kyler supporter. You know this. I supported Kyler since day one when we drafted him. I was happy we drafted him instead of Nick Bosa, um, which you couldn't have gone wrong with both because they're both tremendous players right now. But I feel like the Cardinals are doing a good move right now, not signing him because the one thing that he is really struggling with is staying healthy. Why give him the big money if he hasn't been staying healthy a full year yet? So I feel like definitely Kyler's agent needs to cool down because there's no way Kyler is saying like let's do this. I'm pretty sure he told him let's do this. It's never done this done before. If we put it public, it's gonna be pressure on them. I'm pretty sure it was his idea, and Kyler should have thought about like no, let's keep it old school. Let's communicate with them and see what's going on. Why they haven't accepted me yet? What's the reason behind it? Like let's talk as adults because we're adults here. But I don't like the agent. I never liked his agent since day one. I always saw him as a red flag. Um, he's not very good on what he does. He makes things very public, and he's been doing it nonstop. Everything that is coming out publicly is because from him, not from Kyler. Kyler's not making anything public. He is. He's stating everything out to the media and to the publishers and everyone like that. So he definitely needs to find someone else and to manage him and everything like that. But as far as Kyler, I feel like prove to us this season that you can stay healthy and that you can finish it. That you can finish because as soon as he gets hurt midway, he hasn't been producing the same numbers.
That's true. What do you think in the whole situation? And I know we're playing an if game here, right? We don't quite 100% know what's going to happen with Kyler Murray. If he's going to show up to training camp, OTAs, anything. What if he does sit out? What if the threat of I am not
If
coming until I get paid, because Kyler Murray is only set to get paid $5 million or $6 or $7 million this year when he can get his contract extension? Okay, I think BBH it happens all the time. I'm gonna get him back up here right now. I think it's just issues with just his internet dropping. But the idea of Kyler Murray possibly sitting out, not coming in because he wants to get paid, is out there, right? It is out there. A lot of people were kind of waiting, trying to see exactly what is going to happen with Kyler Murray. But I got my guy BBH coming back up here right now. BBH, what's up, man? Did you hear what the question was?
no, I caught off a little bit.
Okay, no worries, my bad. I was just saying that what happens if Kyler Murray does sit out, because Kyler Murray is only set to get paid like $5 to $7 million this year on his rookie year, and of course, if he gets a contract, that's exactly what he wants. So, what if he doesn't want to play in that?
If he doesn't play, then I say just trade him. Take advantage of it right now because his market value is very high right now. I say trade and get picks this year and definitely next year because definitely the QB room next year will be better. But I say trade him and then possibly try to get Baker because Baker has proven before that he can stay healthy. Let's keep him for a year, and then if his market value goes up, maybe if he does better, then might as well extend him. And if he does bad, but his market value goes a little bit more up, then we have a better chance of trading him or letting him walk.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see some people in the comments here saying that if we were to trade Kyler, we would have done it earlier in the offseason. I can maybe not agree with that just because of how Josh Rosen was treated, where we could have gotten him with a better value. I mean, granted, we still got a second round pick, right? I mean, foolish of the Miami Dolphins for taking it, but I don't know. I feel like if this was going to go down, it can go down either in draft night or even after the draft, just because the way
I
the
can,
Cardinals do things.
I can see the trade happening right before the season happens. I can literally see it happen preseason. I can see it happening 3 weeks into the season. Like I can see it. Knowing the Cardinals, they will do it before. We've done it once. We'll do it again. So
Yeah.
I doubt. I know everyone's saying that we would have traded him by now, but like let's think about it. If we trade him now, earlier before, they know that the pressure's on us because of what happened. Let's everything pull off and make it seem like we have everything under control and we're not desperate because that's what happened with the Browns. The Browns are struggling right now to trade Baker because they're asking for too much. Everyone
Yeah.
knows, like, nope, you're in a situation that you got that QB. Now we know that you have to sit in our terms. If you don't want our terms, we're not gonna get them. So they're either
Exactly.
one, they're gonna cut him, or two, be reasonable with the trade and they'll trade him.
Exactly. And I think that's the whole situation that we're in right now, right? In terms of what's going to happen with Kyler Murray. And you're right. I think the Arizona Cardinals can very well, if this were to happen, I don't think we have a timeline or deadline because they're thinking like we're thinking, oh, he's going to be fine. He's going to be showing up. But if he doesn't show up, that's when SHIT is going to hit the fan.
Yeah, because if he doesn't show up, because if the Cardinals because the Cardinals are smart. They're not saying ducks. They're smart. They know that if he sets out that he's hurting his market value. He's not hurting our market value. He's hurting himself. So they're trying to let him know like, hey, if you set out, you're hurting your market value. It's not gonna be easy for us to trade you. If you're gonna be requesting money from these other teams, but you're doing this with us, they're gonna be thinking you're doing the same thing with them. So either show us we can do this year, maybe we'll give you an extension that's reasonable, and if you prove to us and somehow win MVP, we'll give you that max extension you want.
Right. All right. All right, man. BBH, appreciate you as always, man. Thank you so very much. Later, brother. All right, guys. If you guys do want to jump on, highly recommend you coming onto the link is pinned on the chat below. Just click on it, turn your camera on, and jump on if you want to go ahead and give your thoughts on Kyler Murray and this whole situation. Big shout out to my guy Jonathan Gonzalez becoming a channel member. Appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I think it's down the middle, right? I think there's a lot of people out here kind of saying, with Kyler Murray, like if he doesn't come back, right? If he sits out, I mean, we're probably not going to win a lot of games. There's some people out there saying that they're confident in Colt McCoy. I don't know. Like I'm not on that train quite yet as an Arizona Cardinal fan. I think if we do get Colt McCoy, we could probably win 4, 5, maybe 6 games at best. Our schedule is going to be pretty tough. I know I said the same thing last year, but realistically, we're playing the AFC West and, of course, the NFC West, which usually we're probably going to split down the middle. And, of course, we have the pesky Rams that we can't seem to get the hump over from them. So it's a lot. It's a lot to kind of go based off of. And realistically, who is available, right? I know my guy BBH said possibly getting Baker Mayfield can be an opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals, but I don't know. I think any team would not trade for Baker. I think any team would wait till he gets cut because he's going to get cut eventually. And I think that's the situation that a lot of teams are waiting for, right? Pittsburgh, maybe them. Washington, I'm sorry, not the Commanders now. Maybe, right? A lot of different possibilities here for the Arizona Cardinals and what can transpire so far. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Let me get my guy Alex up here right now. Alex, you are live on the Easy Sports Fan here on YouTube, man. What's up, man? Talk to me.
I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you. Can you hear me pretty clear? Because there's something going on with my mic or something going on with my audio.
No, you're good.
Right on. Honestly, I remember when this first came out, I was very, I was kind of like, meh, whatever. He'll get over it. He'll stick around with us. But the fact this is getting legs and really starting to take traction, I'm now very, very concerned about his future as a Cardinal. And like I told you in that tweet, or like what I showed you in that tweet, these are former players of ours who know what that front office is like. They've seen the experience. They've got the experience. And it's basically proven what we already know. This front office can't do anything right. They don't care about winning. They rely too heavily on the draft. And we all know Keim's record when it comes to drafting. He's terrible at it.
Right.
So honestly, I fear that they probably might trade him before we start the new season.
Wow. Yeah, and it's crazy. And just to kind of give you a little insight, we probably have some more people coming through here, and it's pertaining to this, right? This was screenshotted from, was it a USA Today article? Is that correct?
It was off of the NFL app. So it's on the app. It's there. It's the whole newsletter's there.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that definitely holds a lot. So that's pertaining to what Patrick Peterson is saying about the Cardinals, and saying that Kyler Murray's not going to sit around and wait for that. So that kind of adds a little bit more fear, right? I mean, what if it is where Kyler Murray's like, why aren't you getting those big-time players? Why aren't you doing this? I only have a rookie year for so long. And it's so crazy because I remember when Eric Burkhart originally brought this whole thing up, he said that this was going to be a team-friendly deal. Now, obviously, it's been pulled now because everybody's gotten paid and this market's gone up. Or at least quarterbacks, not just Kyler, but quarterback market has gone up. So I don't know. Maybe realistically that was a good deal that was going to work out to the benefit of both sides, but we don't really 100% know. And I think that's kind of the situation that we're in right now. So you think there's going to be more fire before this gets better?
I wish I had a better source on this because I have been on Team Kyler this whole time. I was very much pay the guy, but his agent is like the two of them really, really need to realize 40, 50 million. He's not worth that kind of money. I mean, I have no problem paying the guy, but he's not a Patrick Mahomes payout. He's not that. He hasn't reached that pinnacle. I don't mind paying the guy, but he's got to come down to earth. He's got to give us, a break. Hey, you have put up the numbers. By all means, hey, that's phenomenal. Keep up the good work. But, you get injured towards the end of the season, and got in that god-awful playoff game. And, we can go on and on who to blame on that, really. But his agent and Kyler, they really need to cut the Cardinals some slack, at least lower the price tag down a bit. And that's why I often respect Tom Brady for being as good as he is. He's willing to take some serious pay cuts to bring in the superstars. I don't understand why other players aren't getting that mentality. Oh, if I'm greedily taking all the money, screw the rest of the team. But that's why I admire Tom Brady for taking those pay cuts. But if we get rid of him, if we get rid of Murray, that's what, 2 first-round draft pick quarterbacks that we've dropped in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss. I'm at a
And I
loss.
agree. To kind of talk about Tom Brady, I agree with that. I guess best advice here: marry a supermodel that makes more money than you. I guess that would probably be
yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah, but no, I agree, man. I'm Team Kyler too. But realistically, I don't know. Like, I'm so back and forth. You know what I mean? It's like the days that go more in, the more we get involved with this. Maybe he might sit out. It turns you off on a quarterback, and it sucks because I know he's just looking out for himself in terms of. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. He's looking out for, because stability, right? I mean, we all got to live.
Yeah.
We all got bills to pay. We all got, obviously they get paid a lot more than the average Joe, but it's. I don't blame him for trying to get his bag, but it's just sucky and shitty situation right now. Like, the timing is just god awful. Is where I'm at.
No
you know what I
doubt.
mean? Like, why now? It is
Right.
what it is.
I did want to throw out also as well, because a lot of the fair weather fans are very much like, oh, well, we'll get rid of Kyler and we'll just get someone brand new or whatever. A lot of these fans keep forgetting that quarterbacks don't grow on trees, especially when it comes to the Cardinals. It's something I wanted to point out as well. Since we lost Palmer, we went through Skelton, Rosen, Bradford, Glennon, Berkeley, Gabbert, Huntley, in the span of 2, maybe 3 years before we got Murray. And that immediately goes to show you that this Cardinal team, this front office team, it will grab literally anyone off the streets just for nothing, really. It blows my mind that we have yet to grab this a player of what do you call it? A Kyler Murray-esque player, and now we finally got them, but they're handling this so badly. Yeah. I don't want to go through another Skelton, Cobb, Huntley era. I can't. My heart can't take that, Mike. I don't want to go through that.
I agree. I fear, unfortunately, that we're not going to get an answer until maybe after the draft, and of course, that's just everything's just bad time. Well, Alex, appreciate you as always, man. Let me get my next guy up in here right now. Have a great rest of your day, brother.
Later.
All right, let's get my guy next up here. Let's get is it Soul? I don't even know. Too long. Let me get my guy up here. Soul, you're live on the UC Sports Fan. What's up, brother?
I love that name. Yeah. I just want to start by saying I started watching you after y'all lost to the Lions because that shit was hilarious. But
I appreciate you.
Yeah, as far as Kyler, because I have a friend that's actually a Cardinals fan. I like to pick on him. And I've always said it. I think y'all biggest problem right now is y'all don't have leadership. And I wouldn't pay top dollar for somebody that's not going to be a leader. Okay. Then you got to take in the fact Kyler gets too in his head during games. And you saw that in that Detroit game. That's a game where I feel like not only did the team come in there thinking, if the coach doesn't get the team ready, it's then the quarterback's job, because the quarterback is next in line. When your quarterback comes in thinking he's going to win the game too, nah, I'm not paying top dollar for that at all. Most I would give Kyler, I would say, look, $112. That's $112 million. That's what you're getting out of me. $70 million guaranteed. That's the offer I'm giving Kyler. Yeah, you a Pro Bowl quarterback, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But under pressure, not the best quarterback in the league. I just argued with somebody about this. And it's like, yeah, Kyler scrambles, this, that, and the third. But once pressure gets to him, he doesn't adapt to it.
Right.
Kyler, the difference between a Russell Wilson and a Kyler Murray is pressure can get to Russell Wilson and he can adapt to it. Pressure gets to Kyler Murray, he folds. You saw that in the Rams game.
No.
You saw that in the Colts game. You saw that in the playoffs. Pressure gets to Murray, it's over with.
So
I'm not paying. I'm not giving you $200 million.
Yeah.
To not only fold in the playoffs and to not be a leader, but to pout when we lose. I don't know. That's just me.
No, and that's fair. That's the argument, right? That we have going back and forth. I'm coming from a Lions fan, or a Lions fan, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
coming from a Lions fan. I mean, it's great that you actually saw that because no ties to Kyler Murray at all, just kind of giving it like it is. And you're right, that was a game that the Arizona Cardinals should have won. I'm on paper, right? And you guys just basically whipped us. Straight facts. You just whipped us. You were the better team that day.
Yeah, because I actually, believe it or not, I like the Cardinals. I watched during the Palmer days because I like Palmer during that time. And like when with Palmer, he may have not spoken a lot, but his presence was felt as a leader.
Yeah.
Kyler, he's absent there. I just can't justify paying somebody that much money to you understand what I'm saying. I
No, I
can't
see.
justify paying somebody to not be a leader.
I
You're
see what you're
judged
saying.
by enter like it's leadership first and then playing second. And you're not meeting either one of those. You started out as the leading MVP candidate. And say what you will, yeah, D Hop went down. But the fact that and this is what irritated me about that Lions game. Because one thing I seen that just annoyed the fuck out of me was, oh well, he missed D Hop. And okay, yeah, he missed D Hop, but we were missing like literally 2/3 of our roster that game.
Yeah. Oh.
And you still have AJ Green, you still have Kirk, you still have what's the tight end? I forgot the
Hurts.
tight end's name that came from Philly. You
Hurts.
still have targets.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't
Well, I
I,
agree,
I
man. Soul
just
snatching. Appreciate you, man. Let me move on to the next Cardinal fan. Thank you. Later, man. All right, let me get to super chat real quick from Mark Jackson. Thank you so much. He said we should keep Kyler, but not for top dollar. I want him to finish the season with winning. He hasn't shown that. Once he can, then pay him top dollar. Fair, fair, fair. Let me get to my guy Jonathan Gonzalez. What's up, man? I haven't seen you in a hot second. Man, appreciate you for coming on here. How you been, man? Well, how are you feeling?
Doing good, man. It's been a minute, been a while. Every time I'm working in a different city now, so every time you're on, I'm driving home and I can't talk while I'm driving. So, but
That's fair.
I know you're Team Kyler, dude. I'm Team get rid of that kid. And let me tell you why. Okay, the way I see it, everything that they're doing, you can't go back from that, man. You can't go back. No matter, you could pay him the 50 mil a year. That's gonna leave a sour taste in everybody's mouth. The fact that he's acting so child, he's still under contract, bro. He was happy to sign the contract he had, even with the 5th-year option. Oh heck yeah, I'm getting signed. You know, I got drafted. Yeah, I'll sign. But now when it comes time to be a man and keep your word and do your contract, oh no, man. You know, I'm playing too well, so I should get more money. I get it, but on the flip side, if he does bad, can we pay him less for that same contract? You know what I mean? That's the thing. So maybe they can give him a contract, but an incentive-based contract. I bet you he won't go for that. He'll be like, no, I want my money guaranteed. I'm actually thinking he wants to guarantee his money because he's afraid he's gonna get hurt for good. Because he's been hurt, you know, whenever we heard he's too small, he's gonna get hurt. I didn't want to believe it, you know, because he was like, hey, Cardinals have a good quarterback. Finally, we're gonna get something done. And every season he's gotten hurt somehow. And every season's been a little bit worse. I think he might be afraid that he's gonna go out soon and he just wants that guaranteed paycheck, which I understand. But man, it's everything that's going on. It's like the way I relate it is if you're in an abusive relationship, you keep at it, and then okay, we made up. You might forgive it, but you're never gonna forget it, man. And it's just and yeah, all these other players that have left or gotten traded or whatever, they're like, yeah, Cardinals, David Johnson, snake in the grass. The Cardinal front office is snake in the grass. Patrick Peterson talked all this smack. The Honey Badger, everybody did, but they didn't talk that smack when they were getting paid, you know. So I take it with a grain of salt. I love all those players. I wish they were still here, but I get it. It's a pissed off employee, man, that just got fired, and of course it's not their fault. You know, it's not their fault. Look at I mean, I'd hate to talk bad about Pat because I like them, but what do you do with the Vikings?
Yeah.
You know, did he deserve a big time contract with the Cardinals? He got that 1 year contract somewhere else. I think he just resigned for 1 more year, right, with the Vikings.
Yeah, I think he signed 1 more year with the Vikings.
Is he getting top dollar? Which is what he thinks he's worth, dude. You're what's this, his 10th or 11th season, something like that now. He's been here for a minute. Unfortunately, 8 catch. Even though he's young, much younger than I am, but he's old for the game. This is a young man's game, and I think Kyler's mentality is. I see that in a lot of where I work. I get a lot of younger kids that come in and try to apply to get a job, and they don't take anything seriously. It's the mentality of the new generation, man. It's completely different. Instant satisfaction. They don't want to wait for anything. They don't want to work for anything. They think they deserve everything. This is the generation of the kids that got a trophy, the same trophy as first place and last place, and they got the same trophy. So they're used to, oh no, I deserve this. I showed up, so I should go to the Super Bowl just because I showed up. Nah, man. In real life, there's winners and there's losers. Unfortunately, dude, that was a horrendous game we had at the playoffs, man. I was watching at home and I was just like this the whole time. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I really thought we were gonna step up. We beat them in their own home field. When at the beginning of the season, I really thought, okay, we're gonna pull together. We're gonna make this happen. JJ's back, kind of. So we had good motivation, good stuff going on. And like that guy before me was saying, yeah, D-Hop wasn't there, but you still had 2-3 decent receivers if you count more. And then you had Ertz too. So, I mean, he had options. So, and if he's, I'm the scapegoat, I have friends that are like that. They're always the victim. No matter what happens, it's never their fault. The system screwed them over. They're the victim. And I see Kyler being a victim, man. He's always, dude, you haven't earned your paycheck.
Right.
Yesterday, I was arguing with my son. He's like, Dad, you realize since Kyler came on, the Cardinals became winners. Like the bunch of people came in, not just Kyler, not one person. They've been adding on. And he's like, well, even his first year, they went from losers to winners. I was like, they won 2 more games. They won 3 with Rosen, and then they won 5 with Kyler. It's 2 games. So it's not like they went from 3 and 3-13 to what was this year's scores? 11-5, something like that.
11-6.
11-6. So it's not like it was a drastic change. It was gradually, and it's improving. I hope he would stay. Like I would want him to stay to keep developing, but I was raised on that one thing that my parents always instilled in me. Man, you say you're gonna do something, you do it. All we have as men is our word, bro. Yeah. You say you do it, and to me, a handshake is worth more than any signature, and I keep my word. So, but how old is he? 23, 22?
Yeah, he's really young, like 23, 24-ish, around there.
Yeah.
Really
so, the fact that he's demanding this kind of stuff when he really hasn't done anything. He's won season games. That's cool. He has his highlights here and there, and Pro Bowl twice, but we don't win when it counts. Right. Anybody can get lucky and win during the season, but can we honestly say, he deserves to get something? I would say after next year. Dude, if he balls out this year, they can't ignore it. They can't be like, no, we still got a year. Then the Cardinals are gonna look like they're abusing the system, Right. But right now, it really looks like he feels he has leverage. And dude, I know, unpopular opinion, I'd rather take Colt McCoy right now because of the leadership. And that's the thing. That's the mentality. If you can get somebody who can rally everything up, because me and you talked about this last time. If Kyler has one bad play, he'll be like this.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We definitely talked about the pouting and
and then after that, you can tell the game is in his head. He's done, and you can't have that as a leader, man. The quarterback's like the leader of the entire team. He has to get everybody on board, and he's happy when he does something good. But hey, if he has one thing, domino effect, one bad thing, another, and then good luck getting back. So it's a combination of things. But if he wants to get money as the leader, he has to take the blame as a leader too, man. Yeah, no, that's true. You can have it both ways. Let me ask you one thing here real quick before I let you up. I got to go to bananas here next. But so Colt McCoy, your expectations, I'm assuming, is not like very high on Colt, right? It's more of a kind of, I'm going to go with Colt because like Kyler Murray's being a little panty right now. Like that's essentially what, right? Or do you really? I would even trade for Baker. Okay. You're not the first one to said it. Okay. And here's the thing: it's not so much. I'm one of those people, and even when my son played sports, baseball, he's a football guy right now.
Mhm.
I told his coaches, if he's being a little bitch, sit his ass out. Don't care
Yeah.
that I'm here, because I'm the kind. I coached this team before. I would
Mhm.
rather take the out in baseball than allow a bad kid to participate and ruin the rest of the team. And I've done that before, because
Right.
I think it says a precedent for everybody else. Now Kyler's doing it. Okay, what's gonna be next? Who's gonna be next? Is D Hop gonna get on that board where he still has to? We still have him for 4 years, right, or 3 years?
I think it's 3 now.
Okay, so was the next year? Oh no, man, I need a long-term contract, and he's gonna play the same thing. I mean, we know these guys are worth something to somebody. Look at Kirk. I'm happy he got an amazing deal, dude. That's great.
Yeah.
Nobody thought he was gonna get that kind of money. Nobody.
I
Okay,
agree.
but everybody's worth something to someone. So I would trade for trade Kyler, get a bunch of good picks, get Baker on board. I'm sure he'd want to be here just because Kyler beat him when he was here, when they played each other. So, and I think Baker's going to have a chip on his shoulder. If he does, whoever he lands with, he's going to really try and say, see, you let me go, you made a mistake. So he has that extra little motivation. I finally became a season ticket holder, so I'm going to be there pretty much every game.
Nice.
I might actually, if I got 2 tickets, and if one of these times my son can't make it, I'm gonna see if you want to make it out to watch a game.
Yeah, hit me up, man. Just DMs on the
and I just became a member for your channel too. I didn't know I could till I saw it pop up. You a member of that? Yeah. I watch, even though I haven't been on, I watch you all the time, man. So it's
appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much. Have a great rest of your day, dude. All right, let's get to my guy Bananas here. Bananas Epic Gaming, great stuff. And this is one of the main reasons why we do this, right? We got all different sorts of opinions, different generations of a lot of different ways of thinking, and that's one of the main reasons why I love opening these channels. Get my guy Bananas here. Bananas Epic Gaming, you're live on the Easy Sports Fan, man. What's up, man? How you feeling?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
Pretty good, man. How's this whole Kyler situation? I know it kind of sounds redundant talking about it over and over again, but how are you feeling, at least being this close to the draft?
Well, we are like 6 days away now, right? Or 7? The draft.
So it's going to be next Thursday. So we're about 8,
so,
right? 8.
So Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been saying this: the Kyler Murray deal will be done by the middle of June. I honestly believe that something with Kyler will be done by the middle of June. He'll either get his new deal, he'll show up and say, "If I ball out, pay me," or God forbid he gets traded. If he gets traded, we're fucked.
Yeah, essentially.
Because the people they brought in have been bringing back, to me, it seems like we're going to get the Kyler deal done. We got a really good offensive guard in Will Hernandez. We got the 2 tight ends back. We got James Conner back. And I know AJ Green, some people shit on him for the
turning around or didn't turn around, yeah.
But AJ Green's a good number 3. He could be number 1 on most teams. And the number 2 wide receiver, that's my biggest concern, more than the Kyler Murray stuff, because Murray's going to get paid. And according to NFL, Good Morning Football or whatever, they said that Murray and Byron Murphy, are the next 2 in line to actually get paid for Arizona. But I think we're going to get our number 2 in the draft.
First round,
so then
second
maybe
round?
number 2 receiver. That way, Kyler can be like, okay, maybe I should go to work and be a big boy.
Yeah, I agree, right? I mean, this topic is it's like beating a dead horse, right? We're kind of going over, it was all speculations. We're all just kind of figuring out what's going on with this whole situation. I know that the OTAs isn't a big deal to a lot of people because it was voluntarily, right? You could either go up or not. And then they said that the Arizona Cardinals are not, or they were fully aware that he was going to show up anyways. With this whole,
there was a lot of people.
Yeah,
the OTAs that didn't go.
Yeah,
I have the list right here that everybody that did not check in. You got Murray, McCoy, Green, Williams, Ertz, Humphreys, Pugh, Hudson, Kevin Beecham, Jalen Thompson, Jeff Gladney, and Isaiah Simmons. We're all not there this year.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a deal. Do you think, just a quick random question, do you think with all this noise and everything that's currently going on, if you were Kyler Murray, would you show up and just pick up a 10? a 10 weight and just be like, hey, I'm here type of thing, just to kind of show face, or you probably just don't care?
I mean, he kind of did that because
That's true.
JJ Watt posted on his TikTok
That's true.
with him,
Right.
I mean,
That's true. Yeah. It's just this whole thing is getting blown out, maybe out of proportion. I don't know. It's like I think one of the biggest things is that Cardinal fans, they've lost all hope, or at least not all of them, but a lot of them lost all hope in Keim, and a lot of hope in Michael Bidwell and what direction they're going through. And this offseason didn't help, right? We didn't really get, the pieces that we thought we were going to get. I don't think a lot of us were expecting to get the big top, tier names for every single position. But at
because
least
this year we had no money. Next year, we're in the top 5 of cap room. So to me, this year, I said that we would be lucky to bring back James Conner.
Yeah.
And we got James Conner and Zach Ertz and Will Hernandez. So
just the waiting game at this point, man. Just the waiting game to figure out what's going to happen here. Well, I appreciate you as usual, Bananas. Thank you so very much, man.
Anytime, man.
Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, we're here as Cardinal fans, and I think for the most part, I could easily say that the amount of people that we had on here, I think it was kind of split down the middle. I mean, I think that was split down. We had some people saying get rid of him. We had some people saying he's going to stay. And it kind of just seems like the fan base in general, right? Whether you go on Facebook, whether you go on any other social media out there, Twitter, it definitely seems like the Arizona Cardinal fans, a lot of them have their own opinions or set opinions on Kyler and what he should and shouldn't be doing. And we just have to play the waiting game at this very moment. Almost like Epic Bananas said earlier, if he does get traded, then we are effed. Because grand scheme of things, yeah, we have Colt McCoy. I'm not as high on him in terms of giving us a winning season. I think he's definitely serviceable, but I don't think he's going to be able to give us the season that everybody wants coming after a 11-win season, if that makes sense. I'm cool with him being a backup for sure. Yeah, definitely. But there's definitely some things that definitely Kyler Murray, I don't know, like I'm so on the fence, like legit, I'm so on the fence with this whole topic. I'm team Kyler for sure. I want him to get paid, but I do understand that people that are saying he's got 2 years left in his contract left. He should definitely go ahead and honor his word. But in my personal opinion, I think we're better with Kyler than we are without Kyler. And I do not want another season when we're a 6-win team or a 7-win team. And it doesn't mean that if Kyler comes back, we're still not going to be a 6-7-win team. But it gives me a little hope. It gives me a little hope going into the next season. But let's do this. We have one more guest that we're going to go ahead and bring in here. One more guest. And then we're going to go ahead and close suit here. Let's go ahead and bring my guy, Jordan P, up in here real quick. Jordan P, you were live on the Easy Sports Fan here on YouTube. Man, what's up, man? How you feeling?
What's up, man? I mean, I'm ready for the draft. I'm not getting my hopes up for the draft, but, this whole Kyler Murray drama, It's kind of tiring at this point.
I agree.
It's just annoying to keep seeing it keep coming up. But, I mean, he's got to deal with it for now, I guess.
Yeah, until the contract is signed, right? Pen to paper, that's really the only kind of situation. Or when we get closer to the season, it would be really the only time that we can kind of stop talking about this whole big charade here. Now, let me ask you a question here. I mean, obviously, we have a lot of, well, not a lot, but we got some players in JJ Watt kind of, poking fun at the media, poking fun at the idea of, Kyler might be leaving. Do you think, I know you said that they wouldn't trade him. You don't think that there's like a little thought, a maybe thought, if he does sit out, that he will get traded? Not before the draft.
I mean, this is all like a stunt by his agent, because the point is he wants the deal. Well, him and his agent, they want the deal before the draft, because after the draft they don't have as much leverage, because most teams are already going to be set with their quarterback because they just drafted one, or they already made their team up and are getting ready for OTAs and training camp and all that stuff. So you have less leverage to say, all right, you don't want to pay me, then trade me. You know what I mean? So before the draft, all these teams have their draft picks. So you have a leverage to say, well, trade me, and then other teams might have show interest because they have the first round pick and they have other things, and they may want a quarterback right away. But after the draft, you're losing leverage. So he's trying to say, we want the deal before the draft, or who knows what. I don't know if he's going to ask for a trade. I have no idea. But the Cardinals are trying to say, no, we're going to give you the deal in the summer. So that's like the dilemma of when, because they want to give him the deal. Like they want to pay him. If you saw I don't know, did you watch the Cardinals flight plan that just came out?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's not nothing special. But the only thing that I kind of took away from it was two things. Was one that Bidwell kind of sort of gave away his hand in saying that like we were going to be patient in free agency and wait to sign guys that may be great players that are still left. So clearly that's what was our plan, which everybody at this point we know it was the plan. But also in the room where they sign like the contracts, they have a huge poster on the wall of Kyler Murray. Like, I didn't see any other players on the wall inside that room except him and a huge wall. So there's no way they're trading that guy. Yeah. Like there's no way he's in that. He's the only one on that wall, and and they're gonna trade him. So they just want for all this to die down and then in the summer pay him. But who knows what he's gonna do if they don't pay him by the draft? I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like with me, and I get it, right? It's money planning. It's a part, building a team. But it also kind of goes to the whole situation that when Kyler asked for his extension, whether you think that he deserves it or he doesn't deserve it, Kyler Murray was cheaper when he was originally asking for his contract extension compared to in the summer. So if we don't have hope that Steve Keim can build a team with what he has, why the confidence that he's going to be able to do it with a smaller amount of cap, because Kyler's going to take much more chunk, much more money. And I know Banana said that we're going to have more cap coming into next year, but
that saying that makes no sense because we have like 20 players on a contract. That's why we have all that money, because we need like 40 players. Yeah. Like, so that doesn't make it's not like we have all that cap to spend in free agency. Most of that's going to be spent retaining players.
Yeah.
And getting smaller guys. So the whole cap thing and saying we didn't have cap this year. We absolutely could have made over $30 million in cap space. We could have extended DeAndre Hopkins, DJ Murray. We could have traded certain players, cut players. We could have did a lot of things. But Keim decided, let me sit on my hands because I just got an extension. So I don't really have to go out there and put my neck out there and try to win right now. I can just sit back and, I got money for the next 5 years coming in or however long he's still under contract. So, I mean, I don't really know what his method was. Like I said, if you're waiting to give your quarterback a deal, all these other quarterbacks are going to get their deal. And that means your quarterback is going to look at those deals and say, all right, this is the starting point now. Yep. So instead of signing him as early as possible, you're going to say, oh, well, we'll wait. What's the point of waiting? You have to sign him anyways. We have no other option. I'm not starting Colt McCoy. Like
that's the dilemma. Happening. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem that I think a lot of people are not really kind of correlating. I understand. I get where people are coming from, right? Where they don't think they deserve it. He is injured, whatever. But the thing is, if he's going to be our future, if that is the future of the Arizona Cardinals, why not get him cheaper now? Why wait 3 months? Like, what's the point? Like why extend Cliff? Why extend Keim months before your franchise quarterback? It just looks bad. It just, I don't know. The way that the Cardinals handled this, just, I don't know. Just wait.
To me, people will say like, oh, Bidwell's a billionaire. He's been running, his family runs the organization, and Keim pulls off these great trades, but it just doesn't look like they know what they're doing.
It doesn't.
Because, even in the flight plan, like Bidwell was talking about, oh, teams that spend in free agency, they don't always get the greatest players, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that's your excuse for not filling holes we have in free agency. Just fill some holes. It doesn't have to be all of them. Just fill one. Give me one. What do you give me?
Give me one.
A backup linebacker, a cornerback who just had a terrible rookie season and had off-the-field issues, and a backup lineman that was horrible on the Giants. That's what you brought in to fill our holes? Like, come on. Like, and you're going to tell me, oh, well, we know what we're doing because based on these metrics and stats that teams who signed, he gave a whole stat about teams who sign free agents from other teams that don't do as good as you think or whatever. But, like, we didn't do anything. Gilmore, I mean, you can say what you want about him being 32, 30, whatever he is. He's been a top 3 graded cornerback the last 2 years. He just got signed for like $10, $11 million. You telling me we couldn't do that? We couldn't extend one guy to bring in a corner to help this cornerback group?
And not have to worry about corners in the draft, right?
Exactly.
No,
now we got to
100%.
worry about corner, O-line, edge, wide receiver. How are you going to pick all the – Keim can't draft on top of it.
Yeah.
So even if we had a good drafting GM, you could give the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, he has a good track record of drafting, so I'm not going to be that harsh on him not bringing in free agents. Keim sucks at the draft.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you have to bring in players somehow. So, I mean, to me, it just doesn't look like they know what they're doing.
I agree, man. 100% agree. Well, brother, appreciate you as always, man. Thank you so very much. Have a great rest of your day, dude. Later. Yeah, in kind of going back towards, you know, the situation that we've been all talking about, it's funny because, like, I see, like, although I don't bring everybody's comment up, right? I don't bring everybody's comment up on the chat because it's just going to kind of derail the show, derail the podcast and what's going on. But I feel like every single year there's a different narrative. It's different. It's a different story. And if that doesn't work, they scrap it and then they start another 1 or 2 year plan. And it's constantly something new. Now the biggest thing out there, and I'm hearing a lot of fans coming out here saying what you know they're trying to preach. And when I'm saying they're trying to preach, I'm talking about Michael Bidwell. I'm talking about Steve Keim. They're selling the narrative out there. They're paying these editors, these people that are making these flight plans and making people hyped up for the season. And now the new narrative out there is we don't want to be top heavy. We want to spend our money on the depth guys, because look what happened last year to the Arizona Cardinals. But that's the thing, right? This plan wasn't initiated but before the disaster happened. It's to band-aid what happened last year, but we're still missing out on players because that's our mindset going into this year. We want to go for depth players. We don't want to be top heavy. But like my guy Jordan P says, why are we waiting for the draft? Why are we putting our eggs in all one basket and saying, oh, we got the draft coming. We got a first, second, and third, and we're going to go ahead and knock it out of the park. We're going to have 1, 2, 3 starters. No, ladies and gentlemen, probably not. We would be lucky to have 2 out of those 3 first-round picks be starters. Be lucky. And maybe just even 1. So I do think that the Arizona Cardinals and the fan base needs to hold these, these people in charge more accountable. It's so funny how different we change, not different, but it's so funny how we turn off what we just went through because of a flight plan that came out, right? Flight plan came out, the GM comes out, and then they feed you this spiel, they feed you this BS. And now everybody's going ahead and tracking that same stuff. The reason why we didn't do that is because we didn't want to be top heavy. But guys, did you not hear the interview that happened 2 or 3 weeks ago before free agency? Michael Bidwell said the complete polar opposite of what we did in the draft. The complete polar opposite. Which leads me to believe, A, it was all smokescreen and we get lied to every single time when they talk and don't ever listen to what they say. Or B, they don't know what the living heck they're doing up there. And I wish I was a billionaire, just like that one Travis, whatever his name was, and Bruno Mars. I wish I was a billionaire so freaking bad to buy this darn team off of Michael Bidwell, fire Steve Keim, and give Cliff Kingsbury a bone. Oh, yeah, we'll extend you, but I'll be extending your quarterback that you brought in here. I wish I was a billionaire so freaking bad to go ahead and do that. But it's not the world we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Thank you so very much. As always, thank you for all the YouTube watchers. Thank you so very much for all the Twitter watchers. Thank you so very much for all the Facebook watchers. Have a great rest of your day. It's been an absolute blast hearing everybody's different opinion on this whole situation. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.